Hi guys, I am trying a new microphone, so we'll see if this works. I don't know. I had a couple people or friends tell me that it sounded a little quiet. I think I mentioned that in the last video. So let me know what you think. And I'll start this. If you guys like the videos I've been doing, like, subscribe, comment, all that fun things. Because it does help me know kind of what you like, what you don't like. Helps me to just keep staying motivated to do these. So I did have somebody ask me to do a tutorial. I am going to do a tutorial on the tab binding. Like I said, it's not my technique. I learned this from Suzy, one of Tim Holtz's designers, aka Shabby Soul, here on YouTube, and I have linked below in each of the videos, so I will link that again. So, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be as good as hers, but we'll try it so you guys can see what I do. Two different ways to do this. I've got the pieces laid out that I'm going to use just to save you guys time waiting on me. I did pre-distress them. Most of these were distressed with ground espresso distress oxide ink. And then these are all die cut already, kind of laid in the order that I thought I was going to use them in, even though I did mix them up a little bit. So most of these, the files are the Tim Holtz Chapter 3 dies. This is actually the Tim Holtz Chapter 3 coin envelope. Since it was single side paper, I wanted this one to have a tag spot, so I glued it on the inside. These are some of the older Tim Holtz papers. This one, I got at the local scrapbook store. I can't remember. I think it was Authentica or something like that. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. So that's just where my pieces are. I tried to keep this as simple as possible for a tutorial. So, and this is one of the Tim Holtz journal cards. So that's the basics for that. For my tape today, I'm going to use the 49 in Market fabric tape. Now this is a repositionable tape. So in order to get this to be a permanent thing, a lot of times I do stitching, but to save you guys waiting on me to do this for a tutorial, I'm not going to stitch on these today. I might go back and do it later, but I am going to glue these down, which is what I did on one of the books I used, one of their tapes also. Two different ways that I like to do this. So if you're a visual person, having a Post-it note with the number of base pieces you're going to have seems to be something that's helped me. So I'm going to use 8 base pieces. So that I've just kind of drawn them out. Your front cover, your back cover. So just a reminder to put no tape. You can also put a Post-it note on this one to say no tape. Put this one on there, whatever you like. So I've done this enough now. I don't really use that, but it has helped me in the past. So I guess I can leave this here if you guys want to see it. But I guess I'll just tell you because it's not going to be the way. The first piece, you'll use 3 pieces. The next one 2, then 3, then 2, and alternating back and forth. Now you can use really any number of pieces. It doesn't really matter. I've done some with just 2 and 1. I've done some with more, just depending on the size of the piece I'm putting in there. These should be fairly even. Now, because I am going to use some shorter pieces, like this journal card that's a little bit shorter, this coin envelope, it's going to be shorter. I'm going to keep these kind of centered for me today, but my tape is not going to extend all the way to the top. So that's another thing you can think about when you're doing it. You can lay them out like this and to match your Post-it note if you wanted to do, or just do one at a time. So let's go ahead and get started. And if you have any questions, let me know. So I'm going to just be cutting these. So I do think I like this about the 49 Market tapes, because it comes with this fancy little cutter piece you attach, and you just cut your tapes as you go. So I'm going to stick these tapes. I'm going to cut a couple of them. It's something I didn't think of doing ahead of time. And I'm just going to cut several of them here and stick them on a tub here beside me. Now, when I did this for class, we did, I think, 6 base pieces. So I want to say it was around 18 pieces of tape. If you use the Tim Holtz fabric tape, which I love, let me grab one to show you. It's behind me here. It is a little wider, so if you're going to use these files, you do want to cut this in half, just so you can see the size of the tape I'm using, which is, I thought they said on here, I'm going to say ½ inch, maybe? I'm not sure. But, oh yeah, it's about ½ inch because it matches these blocks. So I'm just going to cut several of these and then we'll go. And you guys can fast forward through me cutting these. I'm really sorry. Maybe I'll figure out how to do that. It's not really something I know how to do yet, but... And these tapes are so pretty. I don't know if you guys can see the pattern on these. I'm going for a fabric theme on this one, and maybe a little bit shabby chic. I haven't completely decided. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is show you guys the tutorial for the base part of this. And then I was going to do maybe a separate one on basically a craft with me, how I'm going to embellish it, and we'll just go through and embellish this journal together. So on the envelope, you'll see where I had already poked the holes where I'm going to put either the circles or spinners or whatever I'm going to just do yet. I haven't decided. But you can kind of see. So when I figured, oh, let's do that together, and so I just left it. I've almost got a good start on tape here, so let me just finish sticking a couple more of these down. And I'll show you what I've done. You guys can, maybe you'll do this too. Who knows? So I guess it helps to have that. And if you're not doing this in a hurry, you can obviously cut it as you go. But since I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. So I have my little tub that I keep my journal cards in. This is one of those iris cases. And so yeah, I just stuck them on the edges of it. So when you're doing this, you want to work on the fronts of the books. So this one is going to be my front cover. I'm thinking something like this for it. I just have to stitch around this. So the embellished pieces, I'm going to add a lot more detail to it. So you're working on the front sides. I'm going to start with 3 on the fronts. Now I can go back and do all the gluing on this after the fact, so maybe I'll do that. So for mine, I know that I want to work more in the center of these, and if you want to be really fancy, you could use your blocks counted up. I don't really put that much attention into most of this, but usually I just kind of wing it, but there if you want to be perfect. So I'm just going to pick some pieces of tape, stick them on here. You need to have enough room for them to put another piece of tape on the next piece in between. That is your biggest goal. So you know what, we'll do this. We'll keep it centered just to keep anybody that's a perfectionist happy. So that's your front cover. Super easy, super basic. Now the next one, you're going to grab your second page. The tape needs to be in between these. So just going to line it up towards the edge. Put it about where I want it. And yes, you can make them more straight than I'm doing. And that's it. So flip the front one over, grab your second one. We are going to grab the 3 pieces from the top and flip them on to the back. Now, if you use the Tim Holtz tapes, the trick to this, to make sure you're always grabbing the right piece of tapes, is only peel the backing off the tapes you want to remove. But that I find easy enough just to lay it out. So next, I'm going to be adding in this one. So I've done 2, now I need 3. Super easy again. If you want them to be perfect, you can line it up with the other one. What's really nice about this repositionable tape is if you don't like it, rip it back up. And it's super low tack. So I've actually used it for dies recently to like tape stuff down instead of blue tape or whatever you call it. But sorry guys, I'm not super graceful. I should probably be using my tweezers for this anyway because I have huge fingers and hands. So yeah. So anyways, there's my 3 pieces on the next one. Same thing. I'm going to flip it on top, line it up, and so these are slightly smaller than the envelopes I'm using. So I'm going to grab the 2 pieces, and I want them just a little off-centered on the. A lot of people like to, when I've taught this in class, like to have everything lined up across the bottom. You do you. There's no wrong. So there's my 3. Next, this one's a lot shorter, so I'm going to line it up somewhere in the middle. I like it about like that. And if you want it to be, you know, oh, keep it on a line, whatever. But anyways, same thing. Now I don't want to cover up a whole lot of this dress form, so I'm going to put it over to the side of it. I don't even know if that, there's writing on these tapes. I don't even know if it's upright or down. Who knows? Guess I should pay more attention to that too, but that's okay. No, I do have to cover it up a little bit up here, but that's okay. All right, so again, got that. I'm going to flip it this way. And I'm always keeping the tape on the front left side so that when it flips, they line up perfectly. Same thing, take the 3 from below, flip them over. And if you don't like it going this long, it doesn't have to go this long. You can cut it off, whatever you need to do. Now we're going to pull our next one in. Whoops. I've got it stuck together. Sorry. I do have a paper clip because later I want to do a flip on this one. And I didn't want to lose that piece, so. This one is going to be another 3 because we have our 2 here. So I'm just going to grab my tapes from here. You know what? I'm going to grab some tweezers for this. Just to keep these on here easy. And if you're real particular, I don't know if you guys can see this writing on this. It's really pretty. So if you want your writing to be going the right direction, something to pay attention to, this tape is just gorgeous. Their papers are absolutely gorgeous too. I've got several, and they're a very, very heavyweight cardstock. So when you die cut, you have to wet the edges so they don't crack. So if you decide you want to do one out of the 49 market papers. So because I'm going to fold this around, move this, line this back up with my other 2, and grab the 2 and just flip my single 2. Like I said, I am going to go back through because this is all repositionable and put glue underneath of it. But I'm saving you guys time waiting on me to do that. Let's take that back on now. Next is this beautiful roses. Same thing. This one's just a 2. So I'm going to line her back up. Put my 2 pieces of tape on here. Ooh, I might have actually grabbed the perfect amount of tapes here. Writing on that is upside down. And I'm hoping I'm keeping this in camera. I'm not really sure since... No, I don't want to cover up the numbers there, so I'm just going to go a little bit above it. Yes, I realize it doesn't line up with the one next to it. That doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, well, when you do yours, you can keep them exactly perfect. So I'll flip that over. Now, same thing. And if you're not sure, you can always lift and be like, oh yeah, okay, that's 3. So grab ours over. And so these, they don't line up, so or they don't touch, so it's easy. That's where you have that. I like to leave a little wiggle room, so if I want something like that, words that I don't want covered up, it makes it easy. Now, I have 2 pieces left. This is my end cover, my last page. So I already know that I don't put any tape on the last one. So this will be the last one that gets tape. I also like having an even number of pages or base pieces so that it's going to end on an even number, or not even number, but on the 3, 2, 3. So it's going to end on a 3. So that's one thing that helps. You can do any number. It doesn't really hurt to end on a 2 or whatever. But if that concerns you, that is why I did an even number to keep it simple for today. And let's see here. And I don't know if you guys know, but you can watch this video in double time. There's a little button in the little settings gear shape thing. And you can change the speed if you're just wanting to watch the process. Or if you want to go back through to find things, you can change the speed so you watch things and you can pause them. Like I said, if this is something you're interested in, please like and subscribe because that really does help me out. Let's flip this on here. And if you leave these a little bit looser, it gives you more room for thicker embellishments. If you make them really tight, your book's going to pop up a little bit. I usually use a cord to round mine so it doesn't bother me. So now that I've got my last one that gets the tape, I'm going to grab the final page, same thing, flip it over, pretending like it had tape on it, line it up with the front cover, flip my tape over, and simple as that. In less than 15 minutes, you have a beautiful tiny book. These are awesome for gifts. You can embellish it any way you want. And then, you know, super simple. You can add to this, add more pages, all the fun things. You get this really cool binding. And then, of course, you could burnish them down really well. You could stitch around the edges. And a lot of times I will go through and run them through my sewing machine and stitch them along this edge when I do it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I love the little frilly pieces on the edges. But hopefully that's a good help for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching.